Hey, Brad.
Hey, Paul.
Couldn't let you go this easy. This is your first Game 7. I'm just curious. I know you are a one game, one day at a time approach, but I'm just curious if you have any special feelings going into a Game 7 tonight.
Well, I think, as said yesterday and as, our guys said, I mean, this is what you play for. This is why you put in work in all throughout the summer and then in October and then play a long regular season, and it's for the opportunity to win games and ultimately put your best foot forward to advance. And it's easier said than done. They're a terrific team, and they've been a challenge in every which way. And so we're going to have to play great tonight. We know that. So our focus is on staying in the moment, trying to play good basketball, recognizing that you're not going to play perfect. Nobody ever has. But doing our best to leave everything we have out there on the floor.
Hi, Coach. At this point in the series, without revealing how many adjustments do you see going into this last game?
Well, I mean, I think, every time you watch a film, you learn something new and see something that maybe a tweak or something small that you might be able to do. But I think the meat of, what each team is going to do and what they've done all season is after, 10 games against each other, there's a lot of understanding about what they're trying to do. They understand what we're trying to do, and it's who does what they do best. And so I think one of the things that, along with what I just said to Paul, was that that we've really tried to emphasize over the last 48 hours is playing as well as we can with what we do, trying to be the best version of ourselves.
Brad, you mentioned last week that naivete can be a strength sometimes, or a plus. Mm-hmm. With so many guys that have not played in the Game 7 before, do you think that could be the case tonight?
Well, I don't think either team has very many. So I guess that'll be the case on both sides of the ball. But I do think there's power in that, and there's power in, again, just trying to stay in the moment and enjoy the moment. And prepare your best to play as well as you can. And so, I said this from the first day that I got here 4 years ago, or really after that first year. I learned a lot about the daily process doesn't change, whether you're part of a 25-win team or you're trying to win a game to move on to the next round in the playoffs. You're just trying to do your best and play as well as you can that next day.
Just Julian Bimbo from the Globe. Straight ahead.
Hi, Julian.
I'm actually just curious. John Wall's taken like 52 layups. You blocked 12 of them, and I think 6 different guys have gotten at least one block. How have you managed to make sure that someone's always at the rim to meet him?
Well, easier said than done. You're not gonna do that if you're turning the ball over, because you don't have enough guys back, and he is so electric in transition. A big reason why we've stayed big here towards the end of the series is because of we have to do our best to be impactful in the paint. But he's such a great player, and he made a huge shot the other night. His ability to stop on a dime and shoot has continuously improved. But I think the first thing that every coach will always tell you is his foot speed to the rim is special, and so you have to do your best to make those as tough as possible. Easier said than done.
Brad, you mentioned yesterday, hey, even though none of these guys have really been in Game 7s beyond Al, they've all done it in college, and they've had that feeling in college. You obviously are familiar as well. Is there anything you can pull from that I guess, that urgency feeling, that one-and-done feeling, that no, there might not be a tomorrow from your experience in the past? Or?
Yeah, I just think the most important thing is, again, focusing on what you can control, focusing on what's important right now, and that's how do we prepare to play our best right now, and then once we get on the court, are we doing everything we can to be solid within what we do and what we want to do from a game plan standpoint to control what we can control. I thought the other night we did a lot of that. We didn't always score it at our best level. We didn't play, the most efficient offensive game that we've played all series. But I thought we really competed, and, I thought their all-star made a huge, huge shot. So I think what you do is you focus on what you can control, try to improve that efficiency a little bit on the offensive end, and hopefully defend with the same sense of urgency.
Brad, Gary Washburn, any similarities between this and the Duke or UConn games? I mean, that the day of, especially the Duke game. Anything that you?
None.
None. Any stories that you would tell from kind of that day, that national championship game?
Those days were so different because one was in Indy and I was in a hotel, which was weird in and of itself. And then the other one was in Houston. It's just totally different scenarios, totally different days. I think that obviously it's great to have had a chance to experience those things. There's no question about it. And a lot of the players at this level have experienced those types of things as well.
Brad, Bill Doyle, Worcester Telegram. Same starting five as the last game?
Yes.
That's it. Thanks.
Good. Thanks, Bill.
Any difference in their vibe? Guys more upbeat, less upbeat?
Our guys' vibe?
Not you, yeah.
Our guys' vibe doesn't ever change. I mean, it's really, really, really rare. I think that's one of the things I've really appreciated about this team is that they haven't gotten too high or too low, and I haven't seen much change. If there was, I'd be concerned, but I think that there hasn't been, and I think what you have to do, again, is you have to focus on preparing to play well. And, when that shot went down the other night and then we didn't score when we got the ball back, our focus immediately went to Game 7 because where else can it go? I mean, at that point, Wall hit a great shot, and we got to get ready to play Monday.
You think your guys are excited about Game 7?
Well, I sure hope so. Yeah, that would be an issue, right? If you're not excited to get a chance to compete in this game.
Mark D'Amico, Celtics.com. You talk about focusing on controlling what you can control. We hear you say that all the time. How often during a game do you actually bring that back up to these guys and remind them in the heat of the moment to focus on what you can control?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the person who certainly says it all the time around here that we talk about is Belichick, with the idea of doing your job and staying in the moment and focusing on the task at hand, because that's really all you can do. If you get too caught up in things that are going well or bad, it'll flip. And you have to play all the way through to win these games. There's a lot of game left. I mean, you look at even yesterday's game, the Spurs are up 20+, and, I think we all knew that there was going to be a run at some point, and you just have to play well the whole game to have a chance to win.
You guys have that during timeout?
Sure. I mean, and I think that's part of, that's a good way as everything around you is going crazy and is frenetic to get back recentered on what's important.
In a game like this, how important is Al Horford's stability and balance that he provides in terms of his persona, given kind of the volatile nature, the ups and downs and emotion of this game?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I think we've said it all year. Al has been a tremendous leader in that regard, and he's so important to us now. He's been so important to us in all of these different experiences, and we're glad he's here.